they'll have had the least disrupted training schedule, probably. The game against Leeds was called off fairly early, so I'm guessing they wouldn't have been setting off for travel yet. They'll have had better weather generally. They'll have been able to be out training, and they need that because they're not playing like they know how to play with each other. But that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. It's a prediction made with absolutely no faith in the ability of the coach whatsoever. I have been burnt by Mr. McNamara on more than one occasion. So I have no faith in him as a coach particularly, but I just think they, just for a bit of Catalan pride, I would hope that they will pull something out on Saturday.
2 games on it's Mother's Sunday, isn't it? This week.
It is. It's. I've got big plans apparently. So.
Well, there you go. Okay, Sunday 3 p.m. is Wigan versus Wakefield, one of their couple of Sunday fun day family days that Wigan put on during the season. I'm going to go with my Wigan Warriors. I don't say that with a huge amount of confidence because Wakefield have shown grit, resilience in defence and an ability to strike out wide. They've got that great combination of big unit forwards with a skill set that means you have to get men around them, so then men get drawn in and it inevitably creates space outside, and they've got good finishers to take advantage of that. However, Wigan, when they're playing well, which they've put together really strong performances for half a game against Salford at least, half a game against Hull at least, and half a game against Widnes, can score points in bursts this year, I think, which is something we didn't see from them last year. So I think because of that, they will be able to find a run of tries against the Wakefield side on Wigan's home pitch. So I'm going 26-22 in favour of my Wigan Warriors. What about yourself?
Obviously, I wouldn't expect you to say anything else. One thing that I picked up from reading the programme this weekend was that apparently Wakefield targeted from the first 5 games 4 out of 5 wins. And I just wonder, and it was something that was obviously mentioned before the Huddersfield game had taken place, and I just wonder if they kind of go, "Are we doing all
Cue
right?"
on the rack a little.
Well, maybe a little bit. I mean, obviously there's a big load of guesswork on my part.
Well, don't say it too loud because someone might pick up on what you're saying, and then that might be used as motivation, and I don't want that, Alan.
You don't want that, no.
Careful.
But no, I have to say, I can't. I just think Wakefield, as well as they've been playing, you can't argue with a 100% record. You've got to beat what's in front of you. They haven't played a traditional big team yet. They are doing on Sunday, and I just don't think they're quite good enough yet.
Who did Wakefield play in the opening round?
Was it Hull KR the first game? They've played Hull KR.
That's the problem with not doing a show that week. I was like, way not paying as much interest.
Those early round games have passed into obscurity. But yeah, I remember looking back at their past results, and they haven't played anyone that's kind of around them in the table yet. And this is the first time that they will. So I just think that Wigan are just a little bit better. So I have Wigan winning by 6, but I think it'll be close.
They started the season away at Hull KR. Yeah, you're right.
There you go.
Good memory. That memory might come in useful soon because we've got the quiz coming up very shortly. But the final Super League game to talk about is Castleford versus Salford, 3:30 p.m. kickoff on Sunday, the first of 2 back-to-back home games, I think, for Cass. I fancy Cass in this one. Salford aren't as bad as some of the results have suggested, I don't feel, this year. When they've played the really good teams, they've lost, but they've not been shocking in the other games, and they've just been beaten by better teams in Wigan and Saints. But Castleford, I think, they are that better team.
Yeah.
So I just fancy them to rack up a few points on Salford eventually in this one. I've got it 30 points to 12 in favour of the Tigers. Home field advantage and that strike ability that we saw them refined a couple of weeks ago should stand them in good stead. What do you think? Do you think similar?
I think similar. I've gone for Cass by 14, so similar margin. Again, an enforced layoff, but chance to kind of reassess where they are. I think they've started to get back on track of Cass after a bit of a shaky start. to me they're a class above Salford. Obviously,
Yeah.
Salford have been taken apart by certainly last week by a better side, and Cass can do similar things to what St Helens did last week. So comfortable for me. Most comfortable game, easiest one to predict for me. So Cass by 14.
Yeah, it's the biggest margin for both of us. I think it's the only one that I'm in danger of getting this levelled up. Then aren't I? We're going for Warrington against Saints, so that's the only one we've gone different on there. Championship game of the week. It's probably going to be Lee until they get their arses in gear. It's Halifax versus Lee. I picked this week. Now this a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, was a huge grudge match.
Yeah.
Now. It's really important for Lee, but in different reasons, because they're kind of not. Halifax aren't competing at the top necessarily. Now they are a mid-table team that would expect probably to miss out on the 4 this year, but they've had a week off. They've got some good players. They've got a lot of pride in that side. They ran the Wolfpack relatively close in terms of what defence they were able to put in there, and that was against a full-time side. I still think Lee are going to win it though. I don't think Fax have enough this year, but it should be interesting to see if Lee can get a lead and keep hold of it.
I completely agree with you. I think Hyam's return, prodigal son returns. I think he'll get them fired up, and I think they'll just have too much for Halifax. I mean, Lee are definitely in a false position. I mean, they should be looking for the top 4. So, Lee to beat Halifax.
Writing them off for that top 4 is a little bit premature as well, I think, because there's going to be teams taking points off each other.
Yeah.
The Broncos look good and they're 100%, and they have already beaten teams around them. But as the season goes on, there will be the few surprise results, and if Lee can get consistency and not lose again to any of the rivals, they might be the side that knock off London, for example, and that'll give him a real lift if that can happen. We couldn't have you on this week without giving Bradford a bit more attention, and given that we couldn't talk about them in the game reviews, we've got them as League One Game of the Week, and it's the two trailblazers for modern rugby league marketing. It's the Keighley Cougars versus the Bradford Bulls. Do you think there's any chance of the Bulls getting upset at Keighley, or do you have faith in your young Bulls squad?
There's always a chance, but I can't see it happening this week. I think, I mean, Keighley are obviously they're struggling a little bit at the moment. They certainly had a poor year last year. They're kind of trying to right the ship. It's tricky for Bradford. I mean, we last game against West Wales wasn't much more than a training run, really. Obviously having a week off, so all you're really going on is a good performance against a combative performance against York, really. But if nothing else than blind faith, I'm going for the Bulls.
Yeah, I think that the Bulls. Dane Chisholm's going to be playing, isn't he?
He should be back, yeah.
So, and he's had an extra week to get training into his legs as well, because he was supposed to be back last weekend, wasn't he? So that should be a good one there. NRL's back this week, kids. And the first game that you'll be able to see on Sky is one of our Brit picks. It's going to feature potentially British players on both sides, although I doubt that the Broncos will be picking up Andre Savelio into the first grade, but the Dragons will certainly have Gareth Widdop and James Graham to look out for. That's Thursday morning, 9:05 kickoff, and that's one of Sky's 3 televised games this weekend. Just run through quickly Sky's other games for everyone. It's the Knights versus the Sea Eagles on Friday at 7 a.m, so one to watch with your breakfast, and the Cowboys versus the Sharks at 9:05. Couple of other games with potential English player interest in this one. The Rabbitohs versus the Warriors on Saturday at 8 a.m. If you've got the league, what's it called?
Watch NRL.
Yeah. Watch NRL app. Then you can watch the Burgesses in action there. And then you've got the Titans versus the Raiders, potentially Joe Greenwood, and certainly we should see Elliot Whitehead. Obviously, Josh Hodgson is going to be He's going to be injured, isn't he?
Yes, I think so. But yeah, we should see Elliot Whitehead playing, hopefully. So yeah.
That's 7:30 on Sunday morning. So a Brit Watch game throughout the NRL first round there for everyone. So we'll leave off. Are there any of those that you want to pick out for a quick mention, or?
I just to say anyone but Broncos this year. I mean, I'm not necessarily somebody to get, but anyone that signs somebody like Matt Lodge,
And then defends him
and
almost
then
by
defends him,
yeah.
they can go jump off a very high building as far as I'm concerned. So Dragons all the way for that one. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
with you on that. Even though they wear that filthy red V, I'm certainly in favour of Matt Lodge going down. Yep. Okay. Right, we'll move on to the wrap up then. And good news, I have been able to get the quiz up to view.
Drat.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on with my Word since it's updated, but I've managed to find a backdoor in. So we've got the quiz. So let's move on to the wrap up.
Let's see.
So I've got a quiz for you.
Bill.
It's a who am I quiz.
Oh,
as we wrap up this 171st episode of the Super League Pod. You're first as a guest co-host. How have you found it?
The time has absolutely flown. It's been brilliant, and I've really enjoyed it. So I look forward to coming back.
Yeah, we've had a couple of technical sort of glitches. Potentially, your next show might be one that we do in person, mightn't it? So
I'm hoping
that's
so.
on the cards.
I'm hoping so because we maybe the Easter double header kind of show. So I think if we can talk this long for 4 games, God knows how long we can talk.
Best book the next morning off work.
But yeah.
I'll make you up a bed.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have got a quiz for you, and you can maybe return serve next time you're on the show
good.
in 4 weeks' time or so. But
Something
yeah,
like that,
so it's a who am I? I've got 3 players for you, and then all you need to do to sum it up is what links those 3 players. So it's very similar to last week's quiz, and that's as far as I'll leave that.
Okay, go on, shoot.
Okay, so person 1. I'm a utility forward who won my first piece of silverware in 11 years when I was part of the Castleford side that lifted the 2017 League Leaders Shield, having previously won silverware with the World Club Challenge in 2006. I've had spells in Super League with Hull KR and London. Who am I?
Matt Cook.
In like a bullet. There you go.
As soon as you said that, I was like, "Is it Lynch? Was Lynch?" Because I'm thinking about 2006, and obviously that's kind of imprinted in my memory as the last thing that we ever won and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but yeah,
I think Lynch would have met the first 2 pointers, but not the third
others.
one there. Yeah. Okay, number 2 is.
By the way, I'm happy now. 1 out of 3. I'm happy.
2 out of 4 is the aim that you're going for. That's the Thomas Cook benchmark.
Is that the Thomas Cook benchmark? Well, yeah. Okay, we've got to go above and beyond, haven't we? Go on.
I'm back in Super League for 2018 after a 1-year stint in the NRL in 2017 with the Newcastle Knights. Who am I?
Is that it? Or are there more clues?
I'm back in Super League for 2018 after a 1-year stint in the NRL with Newcastle Knights in 2017. Who am I?
Back in Super League.
That's it.
That's pretty sparse.
Yeah.
I did watch a fair amount of Newcastle last year, but
that's what I thought.
Was he playing now?
He played about 20 times. A bit of yeah.
Oh, Joe Wardle.
There you go. Yeah. A little bit of massage in there.
There you go.
We've got it out here. You've had 2 out of 2 so far. This is golden.
Magic.
Okay, I was named captain of my country in Wales in the 2017 World Cup after a swing for my club side, Salford. My 3rd Super League side, having made more than 50 appearances for all 3 of the clubs I've played for in Super League. Who am I?
Kopchak.
Yes, Jay Kopchak. There you go. 3 out of 3. So for all the sweets in the sweet shop, what links those 3 current Super League players?
Those 3 current Super League players have had varying careers. with the former Super League club, the Bradford Bulls.
I need you to be slightly more specific to get the point, because that's an easy one for you. Just say that they all played for Bradford.